According to statistics, only 8% of Black people in this country live in a census area that has a supermarket. This harsh reality means that millions in the Black community don't have easy access to fresh food and life's daily necessities in one of the richest nations in the world. But Jasmine Crowe-Houston dreams of living in a world where no one goes hungry. And she founded her company, Goodr, to help make that dream of ending food insecurity a reality. This is Stand Up For, presented by State Farm.
We are all do-gooders. Because of the work that we do, someone who would otherwise not be eating is now having a meal, or food that otherwise would have gone into landfill is now being composted or turned into energy or animal feed. We're do-gooders for people and for the planet.
So how did you first get interested in this issue of fighting hunger?
You know, I have been in this space now for well over a decade. I think the very first kind of introduction for me was when I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was volunteering at this church. And it was a church that was doing a service in the park for people that were experiencing homelessness. What I remember about that day is I'm thinking everybody's volunteering like me. And then when it was time to serve, so many of the people that were like helping set up got on the other side of the table. And it was transformative for me because it made me think like, wow, like 2 seconds ago you thought everyone was volunteering with you. Now you're about to serve the very people that were helping you set up. And then when I moved to downtown Atlanta in 2013, I just saw hundreds of people like living outside, and it was kind of like, wow, like I need to do something. I'm here, this is a new city that I'm in. I wanted to start feeding, and so I did.
What made you want to devote your life to this?
I just feel very purpose-driven. It's really hard being an entrepreneur. Like, it is the hardest thing. Sometimes I'm like, why did I choose this? But every single day that I do the work, I feel somebody's better for it. People are getting food, and that makes me feel good.
What are some of the statistics when it comes to hunger in this country that shock you the most?
The most shocking is how many children are hungry. New York Times recently did an article that showed 12% increase in childhood poverty. Every year we're seeing about 42 million people that are food insecure, meaning that they don't know where their next meal is coming from. And then food waste is a big one. We waste nearly 80 billion pounds of perfectly good food every year, yet we have all these people going hungry. So if we could reduce the amount of food we waste by just 15%, that alone would be enough to feed about 25 million hungry Americans. So just think about that. We're wasting enough food to fill MetLife Stadium to the brim every day with perfectly good food. That would almost feed everybody that's hungry in New York.
Now, when it comes to the food deserts, how does that uniquely impact the Black community?
Oh, it probably impacts the Black community at a far greater rate than anybody else. I know I'll be in a Black community and I'll search for a grocery store and you'll see it'll be like food, liquor, wine. Like these will be the names of the stores, and there's not a grocery store in and around. That is the reality of like what it's like for people that live in a food desert. And maybe that little store has hot dogs or, you know, processed meat, but there are no vegetables. And you know, those are the things that are really impactful, because the kind of food that you put into your body affects your quality of life. And in this country, people are more sick than they are healthy.
So tell me about Goodr and the different ways that you're trying to address this problem.
So I look at Goodr as a sustainable food waste organization, but also a hunger relief organization. And so on one side of our business, we're all about food waste. We're helping businesses taking edible food and getting it to people in need. If it's non-edible, composting it, getting it to animal farms, like really helping it stay out of landfill, which is better for all of us in the future. As it relates to hunger, we are really creating what I like to call solution-oriented ways to solve hunger. We're always creating new initiatives. We build grocery stores inside of schools. We have pop-up grocery stores that we host all over America, really in food deserts, where we literally will bring a grocery store right into a community. We have a mobile grocery store and allow families to come and shop for free, minus the price tag. Like a hot pocket, waffles, anything like that? Broccoli. It is a full-fledged grocery store, so there's a produce section, there's a meat and seafood section, there's a frozen food section. We have milk, we have eggs, we have butter, we have cheese, we have fresh vegetables and fresh fruits. But we also have, of course, canned goods, and there's gonna be condiments and cereals and breakfast items. It's been incredible to see this bus make its way across the state. I am always met with tears and hugs. I mean, families just, they love it.
They're very important to help out the people that can't afford to go to the grocery store and buy stuff. I mean, because prices go up, but Social Security don't go up.
Everyone who ever comes into contact with this bus, it is 100% free from them. That's why we're so dependent on sponsors and donors to help us bring this to families so that they never have to pay. And I think the biggest thing that we like to guarantee, they're leaving with at least 5 to 7 days worth of food. And that's a big difference because, the root cause of hunger is poverty. That's where Goodr wants to come in and stand in the gap. So we don't envision ourselves ever being a grocery store. We don't envision ourselves ever being like the only place that someone depends on for food. But we do want to be able to be kind of like this supplemental opportunity for them to have access to food.
When you're trying to address this problem, you're not only trying to address kind of hunger as it's strictly defined, like people need food to eat, but you're also very concerned about quality of food, right? Because if someone's just doing Cheetos and soda every day.
Exactly, and I think that was one of the big things that I realized when I first really started feeding here in Atlanta. We don't think about the fact that people maybe have peanut allergies. We don't think about the fact that people maybe have religious convictions. We can't give everybody a ham sandwich. And so I felt like there needed to be dignity in choice, even when people were in their darkest hour. And we asked people like, would you prefer almond milk or oat milk or dairy milk? Do you have any vegans in the household? Are you allergic to anything? Those are things that people just aren't even used to hearing. What I think a lot of us were taught in kindergarten, right, is treating people how you would want to be treated. And so if any of us were in that situation tomorrow, that 53%, would you just want to get whatever you're given and be happy with it?
And what about with businesses? How were you able to help businesses with their food waste in a way that's also helping people who need the food?
That was kind of my aha moment when I realized how much food was going to waste from businesses. I started to think like, what if I created a technology that would kind of pick up food from businesses, almost how Uber drivers pick up food to deliver to us. We would pick up the excess food and deliver it to local nonprofit organizations that would in turn feed people that are food insecure. So that's how we're helping businesses. We've had great opportunities. We've worked with everybody from State Farm. We've worked with sports teams. We've worked with the NBA. We've worked with Amazon. I mean, we really have had some great partners who have joined us, and I hope we'll have more. But the opportunity is like, give something new a try. And the impact and the data that we're able to deliver to our clients around how we are providing this great impact is amazing.
What do you hear from some of the people that you're helping? What do you hear from people that are getting food from you?
Oh man, I hear a lot of joy. I mean, I always think about this one email that I received. She said, I just wanted to thank you. Like when I got home, my meat wasn't brown. But what she was saying is that every time I've ever been in a position to receive a food donation, it's not been good food. And I've had to take it because I didn't have anything else. But you gave me food that was quality. I'm saying it wasn't brown, it was from a good grocery store, it was fresh. And she was saying, thank you for that. Like, thank you for giving us this good food.
And does it build a sense of community, do you think?
I think it does. I think what we do is all about community. It's rooted in community. We get emails every day that are like, hey, when are you gonna be back in this city? When are you coming back? The energy is good. I think for me, I always feel like the need to do more, which I think is like the entrepreneur in me, like there's still more and more people that I gotta help. Like I'm never like satisfied. There's still so many more people that need what we are doing. And my goal is to try and bring it to them.